Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement. Welcome again to another program, Agriculture on the Move. I am Phillip Sydney. We saw the need to continue or to have a part two with the two gentlemen here with me, the Honorable Ezechiel Joseph, the Minister responsibility for Agriculture, Fisheries, Physical Planning, Natural Resources and Cooperatives, and of course Mr. Bernard Cornibert, who is the CEO of Winfresh. And gentlemen, we needed to continue this program. There's a lot to be discussed, you know, about the banana industry and other crops diversification. But then let us continue where we left off in the first program concerning the crates, that movement from the cardboard crates to the plastic crates. And the people out there are raising questions. They don't know what's happening. Can you all elucidate?
Well, like I said when we break the first program, when I was approached by the Minister for Commerce, that's Honorable Bradley Felix, to meet with the management of Winera and the National Workers Union leadership to discuss the impact of that decision to move from cardboard boxes to plastic crates, it was clear to my mind that there was a lot of misinformation, okay, as to why we are doing it, what's the reason for doing it. And when I met with Mr. Cornibert, knowing that I would be going to England, I requested of him that give me the opportunity to meet with the only supermarket, and I want to raise that point, the only supermarket to date not buying bananas from St. Lucia in IFU crates. Because all the other supermarkets, the two other supermarkets that we are dealing with in the UK are buying bananas from St. Lucia in IFU crates. And the IFU crates is nothing new. It has been there for years, based on my understanding, for the past 4 or 5 years. Okay, it's just that Sainsbury still continue to buy bananas from St. Lucia in cardboard boxes. So I met with the management of Sainsbury to find out from them the reason for the decision and how we can work together, considering the impact it would have on manufacturing in St. Lucia. I want to report that it was a very favorable meeting. They have given us the assurance that it's not a decision that they would want to do right now. They're looking at the June target. They have agreed that let's see how we can advance the process to most probably December, January 2019. But the reality is that they made it clear to me as minister as a decision that they have to take. It's a decision, it's a business decision, and it's going to reduce on the operating costs. So as an industry, we have to be mindful of this. The other decision I had with them, or discussion I had with them, was whether it would be possible for Winera to look at the possibility of manufacturing these crates, because based on the discussions we had when we met with the minister and the leadership of Winera and of course the National Workers Union, that was a possibility. And I'm sure you have heard in the news that NFT, National Workers Union, is saying, why does government give Winera an opportunity to build a factory in Ancillary or build a factory in Suzel and manufacture these boxes? It's clear. They said they have entered into an agreement with a company. All right, and that company is responsible to manufacture the crates. That company is responsible to come and collect the crates from their depot and recycle the crates, wash it up and repack it and send it back to us. So the thing about the talk around crates coming from the Miami and crates coming from the US, that's false information. Okay. The crates are coming from England on the Gisboat, landed in St. Lucia, from the respective supermarkets that we're dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to make, certainly to underscore what the minister has said, but to make some additional points. One, he's right, this thing cannot work. The crates have to be manufactured in the UK. Anywhere else that it is manufactured, it will create problems. For the simple fact that when we deliver the bananas in the crates to the supermarket, they don't come back to us. We get another set of crates from the manufacturer and send it down. So if it is manufactured anywhere else other than the UK, you want to have a problem getting it back. Getting the empty crates that have to be washed and new ones, or collected by us, shipped by us, and done here. So to maintain that cycle of necessity, the crates have to be manufactured in the UK. The second point is, it is not only bananas. For example, in the case of the other supermarkets like Asda and Waitrose that we are dealing with, they have practically all their other produce coming in crates, in those IFCO crates. So this is not something that is unique to bananas. So it is very difficult for one to stop it. As regards Sainsbury's, and what they said to the minister was, listen, the reason why they are not, because actually we are the ones rolling out the IFCOs. They have chosen us as their supplier to roll out the IFCO crates for them. At the moment, they are doing the IFCOs, we are rolling it out only with the loose bananas.
Okay.
And because all the bananas that we are doing for them now are bagged, that is the reason they said, look, we will roll it out but later, so therefore it is okay for us to hold back. We will not roll out the IFCOs in bags for now, because the first stage of it is to do the loose bananas. Okay? And in fact, they are actually a little impatient with us because they think we're taking too long because we're having issues with some of the, not issues with the crates, but with the other suppliers. And so the decision really, as the minister said, is a business decision by the customer. And the reason why they can afford to hold back maybe until early next year is because at the moment they are not rolling out the IFCOs in the bag fruit,
Okay.
which is what we are doing now. We spoke about bags and loose fruit earlier.
So, Minister, when the process starts, whether's the packaging company?
Winero?
Yeah.
Well, I remember I was saying at the meeting that we have to look at other opportunities. We have the regional markets. We're increasing productivity. We look at the regional market. We're looking at the French market. These markets are going to continue to buy bananas in boxes, right? We're increasing production. And I use some comparison. For the past 5 years, you're averaging about 7,000 tons per year export. If we're looking at increasing to 30,000 tons, and Mr. Cornibert is aware of that, 30,000 tons, 40,000 tons. So which means there'll still be a need for cardboard boxes, but not targeting what we call our traditional, reliable traditional markets.
Okay, all right. So,
but the thinking of Winero and the suggestion of Winero going into the manufacturing of the IFCO crates, to me, that's a business decision that you have to look at.
Yeah.
And like I told them, you cannot only look at producing crates, plastic crates for the banana industry. Because you said earlier, and we all agree, the packaging material in the banana industry is changing ever so often, right? And you're going to go into a big investment to just look at producing crates for the banana industry, which of course is not possible based on my meeting with Sainsbury. It's a business decision that they have to look at.
we continue on marketing, and I remember you mentioned the French market, okay? Where is that now?
Mr. Cornibert, where is that now?
We have been in touch with the French potential buyers from the French market. I'm a little bit disappointed that we have not made much progress with them. But at the moment, this is not too much of a big concern, because we can take all the bananas that are available now.
No. Okay.
So it's not really a problem. However, we are still pursuing it. Like I said, I'm a little disappointed that they are a little slow in responding to. They have sent me some information. I've asked them for some more information, which they have not come back to me. But it's something that we're still pursuing. But it is, as I said, it is not a big issue for us now, because the bananas that are available now, we can take all the bananas.
So in the next year, when we have increased our acreage to 500 acres, the market, we are going to be able to sell our bananas out there. That's a given.
There's a development that is taking place in the market now. It is a major development. The two second largest supermarkets in the UK. The biggest one is called Tesco. The second one is Sainsbury's, and the third one is Asda. Both of them are our customers, and they are now in merger talks. In fact, they have agreed to merge. All they are waiting now is for the approval of the competition authorities in the UK. Once that is approved, these two companies will merge, and they'll become the biggest grocery retailer in the UK. Both of them are our customers. I'm making that point because, again, there are opportunities.
Okay.
Okay? There are opportunities. We could actually, but we need to do things right. We need to do things properly.
Hold that point. I'll come back to that. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
Pour contrôler maladie cigatocanoué, il est nécessaire et bien important pour tenir tout équipement, particulièrement machine sprayer en bonnes conditions. Toujours nettoyer machine après ou servir et mettre en condition bon service, même quand l'usine recommandé pour tenir. Depuis ou ka servi chimique pour contrôler maladie figue cigatocanoué, il est absolument important pour protéger corps et prendre en chaque précaution. Opérateur ces machines sprayer ni pour servir habillement qui caille bien protéger yo. Servi overall, goggles, boots et gloves pour empêcher chimique toucher la peau et bien expirer.
Pour plus d'informations à sous manière pour traiter et contrôler maladie cigatocanoué à sous plantation et bien jardin ou ça téléphoner département pour ménager cigatocanoué à numéro 45 54 et bien 45 5894 et bien email yo à bpmu@candw.lc. Commission Salak a sorti Hod Ministère de l'Agriculture ensemble avec Fonds Coopération Internationale et Développement Hod Pays République la Chine Taïwan.
Welcome back. Mr. Cornibert, your company have diversified as a company. I know you'll have gone into processing and other commodities. The farmers also have diversified and they need a market, an outside market. There's a local market, fine. But I know to bring down our food import bill, we need to go the extra mile. And we need to diversify, we need to export. What are the possibilities and the potential for export market for our non-traditional crops?
Okay, for me the possibilities are endless. I've always said if farmers produce any crop and they do it well, and they do it productively, in other words, you can do it in a way where it is cost competitive, we can sell anything. Literally. We have had demands that remain unfulfilled today for things. In fact, I can sell over, maybe 2 containers, 40-foot containers of passion fruit per week.
Wow.
There was a time we had a demand for 5 40-foot containers of butternut squash per week. These are, if you like, non-traditional. These are crops that farmers would not think of, but these are things that they can do. There is no reason why farmers cannot grow passion fruit. There's no reason why they cannot grow butternut squash. There's no reason why they cannot. At the moment, for example, our processing facility, we are processing a lot of peppers in St. Vincent. We can buy hot peppers. The possibilities are really and truly endless. We just need farmers. And one of the reasons why, let me just make a point. One of the reasons why we need to processing, because we know it is more challenging to sell fresh produce, to export fresh produce as fast, because you got to have all these cosmetic quality problems. So we said, okay, what we will do is to go into processing so that the products that are not, if you like, category 1 products that we can sell as fresh, we can process it. Take, for example, the passion fruit. The passion fruit is a classic example because we are making passion fruit cordials and juices and things like that in our factories. And therefore, if we have, there is a demand for us to sell fresh passion fruit in the UK, but if we cannot sell it for whatever reason, because of quality or other things, we can process it. So that was the rationale, that was the reason behind us going into processing, because we realized that we are opening up the possibilities. If we were to restrict ourselves to selling everything as fresh produce, it might be problematic for reasons of quality.
Okay. Mr. Minister, okay, now we've realized that there is a market. Does the ministry have a diversification program in place so that we can meet those demands?
Well, I mean, I want to say first of all, for St. Lucia to do it alone, it's not possible.
Yeah.
We don't have the capacity. I had a meeting with one of the importers in the UK. They're interested, and Mr. Cornibert can attest to that, they're interested in sweet potatoes. I want to ask, what volume she looking at? They told me they're looking at 3 20-foot containers a week. The reality is, and that's the reality, we cannot grow to supply 3 20-foot containers a week of sweet potatoes. So we have to look at a regional approach, all right? I'm aware that the OECS have come on board and looking at it from a regional point of view. We have what we have going for us. We have the infrastructure, which we have Winfresh. We have the boats coming down here weekly. So it's a question of how we organize ourselves and targeting the crops that we can grow on a sustainable basis. Because we can do all the crops because there are a lot of opportunities. Let's not fool ourselves and spread ourselves to Sydney, right? We're doing bananas now. Can you look at sweet potatoes? Can you look at the squash? Or can you look at watermelons? Can you look at okra? And okra is a crop that they're looking at. So it's for us now, with the support of the OECS and Winfresh, to look at the crops we can really grow. I know that my other colleagues, ministers in the region, St. Vincent, Dominica, and Grenada, are committed to this. If I can speak about the minister for St. Vincent, very much committed. In fact, he has started a program in St. Vincent. So it's for us now to look at it from a regional point of view. But for St. Vincent to go alone on this, it's not possible.
Is it possible to, the incentives that you give to the banana farmers, if you intend to go that way with the other non-traditional crops, can incentives be given to those farmers to ensure, the farmers are chosen based on the ecological location where the crop can be grown?
I'm sure. I mean, if we come to that point where we have identified a crop and we believe it's economical to grow and to have the impact in the rural communities, I'm sure from a winner island approach, we can look at the question of giving support. I don't want to use the word incentive, but give support to these farmers to encourage them and assist them to get to a production level where they can continue on their own. But it's for us now, first of all, to look at the crops that we believe we can grow, what type of production that we're looking at, and the market is there, and the infrastructure is there.
Mr. Cornibert, will you be willing to accept processed commodities, say from St. Lucia, if somebody decides, for example, okay, like the agro-processing plant, you know, I mean, will you be able to work up an approach with them where you can buy from them for export?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, for example, we have the plant that we have in Grenada that is, it's a juice plant. It has very, very significant processing facilities. We can process like at the rate of, 1,000 liters per hour of juice. Plus it has huge pulping facilities. However, there is a problem with moving particularly fruits, around. And therefore, one of the things that we're looking at, whether there are, for example, there's a processing facility that can pulp mangoes and whatever fruit that is available, so that we can move the pulp rather than the raw fruit. Then these are things that we would want to encourage, rather than us again, setting it up. We don't mind working with a third party that is processing. We can buy all the processed fruits that is available from St. Lucia. For example, during the mango season, if there is a facility that can pulp all the mangoes and sell us the pulp, we will buy it.
Well, I mean, I'm happy that we have that discussion, because when we established the agro-processing facility in Foaso, that was the intention, and Winfresh had given a commitment to the management of the facility to buy all the pulp because they were experiencing problems in importing what you call primary production into some countries that I don't mention because of pest and disease concerns.
For example, we can't move mangoes into Grenada.
Well, I don't want to mention any country.
Well, that's what the plant is. I mean, I'm not running away from it. Everybody knows that.
Golden apple too.
Golden apples, soursop. These are all the things that we're interested in. Passion fruit, like I said, we're interested in all of those things. As a matter of fact, we want to encourage farmers to grow these things for us. And I have a proposal which says, look, you don't necessarily need to go into a orchard of soursop. Just imagine if every farm plant 3 crops at the perimeter, whether it is mangoes, not only do they act as windbreaks, you also have the same fertilizer that you're using in the field is fed into the thing. So you have a natural growth area for you to produce your and if you like remove the risk that you have with just tree, well, not the risk, but you know, if you like the gestation period of the tree crops and the time it takes, so you can still have your short-term crops or your cash crops in the main area of the farm. But at the perimeter, there's no reason why farmers should not, particularly if you have a farm that is of a reasonable size.
Yes. We'll do for a break. We are watching Agriculture on the Move. We'll do for our second break. Stay tuned.
St. Lucia is blessed year-round with an abundance of fruits. But do you know that most of them go to waste? Here's an opportunity to invest either from a small to a large-scale agro-processing enterprise. You can contact the Ministry of Agriculture for further information.
Welcome back. Gentlemen, diversification. The last discussion we had was a question of planting our tree crops on the perimeter. And if we can do that and we can ensure farmers that there's a market, I'm sure they will do that. Mr. Minister, what's your take on, based on your program, are we able to go that way to ensure that the farmers, they may not be able to plant, like you said, a whole orchard. But if we target the areas, the ecological zones, and plant those crops, I think we can get somewhere.
Well, farmers are doing that. I mean, one of the challenges that let me speak for my experience with the agro-processing facility in France. So one of the main challenges is to get the crops into the facility. Right? And we have oversupply of mangoes, mango long, palwi, or what the case may be, just dropping. Golden apple, well, not so much the sub, because it's a high price crop. Yes. But golden apple, mangoes, just dropping. And I have advised the management, and it's something that we're looking at. Let's look at a different approach. I mean, I'm sure you remember during the years where you would have persons going around, and it's happening now, as it pertains to breadfruit. We have persons going around buying off a tree, right, and picking the breadfruit and selling it. Why do we have the same approach with the mangoes and the golden apples? Because to me, as a farmer, and I even put my farmer's hat now, I have endless mango long trees, but I won't climb a mango long tree and pick mangoes to go and sell. But it's just they drop and it's been a nuisance. If you can come and tell me, look, Mr. Farmer, I pay you $200 for that mango long tree. Go ahead and pick it. So to me, that's the approach we should start looking at now, and the new management that we have at the agro-processing facility has embraced that suggestion. And what we can do is create employment for young persons, train them, give them the tools to go out there and to pick the mango. So I'm hoping that can happen, because we can have the facility, and if we don't have the raw products going into the facility to capitalize on the opportunities, then we just split into it.
Exactly.
Let me just speak to that, because we have Winfresh experience with that in Grenada. There was one year we bought the entire golden apple crop in Grenada. Wow. The entire golden apple crop. And the way that we did it, I mean, there are several ways. In one of the way that the minister explains, one way that you could do it, you can organize and go and collect it. Or you can leave it to private. You can say to a private operator, look, I'm going to pay you X amount for a 40-pound box of golden apple. You go ahead, take your truck, just like the guys who do the coconut water. They go and buy the coconut and sell it.
Exactly.
So you go and buy the golden apple from people, climb it, buy it from them, you pick it up yourself, and when you come to me, you deliver it to me, this is what I'm paying. Let's have a deal. So he knows, works out his transportation costs, the men that do the thing, and how much he must pay. And then you could do that with 2 or 3 or 1 operator, and all he does for you during the mango season is to go out there, you pay him, you don't have the hassle, you just have an arrangement with him that pays him. He goes out there, collect mangoes all over, obviously you have to make sure that the quality is good, but you can put in place those kinds of arrangements, and that is a beautiful way for you to access crops that are coming from those tree crops.
Okay, great.
And if the farmers, of course, if they want to pick it themselves and think they can do that. But if they don't have the time, and this is an arrangement that can work easily. As I said, we have postal expense, and it works well in Grenada.
In what way that Winfresh, I'm not aware, but in what way that your company can give back to the farmers, so that they can assist them in production? Is there any way that we
Well, one of the things that if this is established, for example, with the ministry, we can work with the ministry. And if you were asking a while ago, how do you get farmers to do that? I mean, we would want to, if farmers are interested, they could tell us, okay, we want to plant 3 crops. What 3 crops would you advise us to do? And we could work with those farmers and assist them to get in getting, plants and so to put down the production and so on. We can work with them, but one of the things that we could give them is if they work with us, we can give them the guarantee that we'll buy the products from them.
Okay. But presently, are you all giving back? Go back to the banana industry. Are you all giving back any way of assisting farmers in any way, any form?
Well,
judging from the revenue that you all make.
I don't know much about that revenue, but we have in the past. For example, we have I think a few years ago we made available $1.6 million to when we were kind of trying to reorganize the banana industry. In sort of very, very soft, not even sort of interest-free loan to farmers. And so we do those kinds of things. If we want to pursue a particular objective, these are the kind of things that we would do.
Well, I must say we're now engaged in the management of Winfresh.
Okay.
As far as giving support, and they seems to be gravitating towards that. It's just a matter for us to fine-tune how it can be done, you know. But as far as closing,
yes,
I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm hoping that I can come back here again to discuss more the other programs, because we have just finished a budget cycle. There will be some of our technical staff who will come here to articulate what the programs you're doing. We're looking at the whole aspect of the reduction in the importation of some of our traditional crops, and you were at a meeting last week where we discussed that, because we believe there are some crops that we can grow in St. Lucia on a sustainable basis. Let's look at what are the challenges, and let's see how we can encourage farmers to get into production of these crops, so at least we can supply our locals, and of course the school feeding program and the hospitality industry. The whole aspect of fisheries is also important to us. Aquaculture is an area that aquaponics and hydroponics are areas we believe that we need to encourage more young persons to get involved in. So there are a number of areas we want to really look at. The whole question of the livestock industry and the boiler industry. I mean, now it's knowledge, information all over the place that we have given additional company the approval to go into processing, and it's for us now to meet to see how we can fine-tune within the limitation of 28.6% that we have. I can make it clear that we have taken a decision not to look at any additional pens. No new construction of pens. Is questionless. Use the existing pens that we have, because we have overproduction capacity on the ground right now with the number of pens we have constructed over the years to be able to fulfill the 28.6% guarantee that we have. So to encourage any construction of new pens will create more problems for us. So there are a number of things that we need to discuss, and I'm sure as we articulate our programs, the farmers will continue to embrace and give support and to capitalize on the opportunities that we are providing them, and of course to see the impact as far as the rural community is concerned. I want in closing to thank Mr. Cornibert and Winfresh for the support they are giving. I want to express, like I said earlier, our support to all the organizations helping us and the government helping us. I spoke about the organization, but let me speak about the governments. Government of Taiwan, critical. Now Mexico, Mexico is on board with us. Cuba is on board with us. So I want to express, and Morocco, so I want to express our appreciation to all this government for helping our programs and helping us to identify resources, both technical and financial, in our pursuit to develop the agricultural sector.
But gentlemen, I want to thank you all again, and I hope that Mr. Cornibert, your success to get more markets for our farmers, so they get more money in their pocket. Don't say anything more. We come to an end.
Thank you.
Thank you again, viewers, for viewing the program, Agriculture on the Move. I hope that you have gotten enough information, marketing information, you, the banana farmers, and of course, other farmers who are diversifying. There's room for markets for your non-traditional crops. I'm Phillip Sydney saying goodbye and see you again. Gentlemen,
thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.